everybody. Okay, so I am here to plan with you, and this is the first time I have filmed in a long time, probably like a week, maybe more. Let me make sure all my settings are correct on here. Yeah, we're good to go. Oh, it's been so long, y'all, because of Go Wild and all the things. And now you're gonna hear that I'm a little nasal. No, I do not have COVID. And yes, I do have a cold, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. I'm also going to talk about some heavy things. So I would ask that if you are a student or a parent or a family of a student, like a current student, if you're a former student, it's totally fine if you stay. But if you're a current student, which I know I have a couple that follow me here, I would just ask that you watch this video with caution, or you wait to watch this, or don't watch it right now, because it is going to cover some heavy things that I do plan on talking about in class later that I'm not really ready to talk about with students yet. So I would ask that you do those things. And if you do watch this video and absorb the information that I'm about to share, I would also ask that you do not share it with your classmates and that kind of thing. So because we are going to have a conversation about things at the end of the year, and it will be okay, I promise. But right now is not the time to talk about all of this with my students. But I do want to share with my internet friends and the adults in the room. So with that, we're gonna have a little sparkling water, a little Kirkland sparkling water. Because, you know, dry throat. So I am going to plan with you today, and I am going to talk a little bit about Go Wild, but never fear, my Go Wild vlogs, as I'm calling them, they're going to be like basically a sit down recap with some B-roll and some vlog footage within them. My plan was to vlog, but as a first timer at Go Wild, it was a lot, and it was more than I was expecting. And so trying to like be present in the moment and pick up a camera all of the time was difficult. And so I don't have like a pretty polished vlog ready for you. Hopefully I'll have that in a few years, but this year it'll be like a recap. So it'll be like a sit down style video where I'll talk you through my experience. And then there will also be some, you know, clips of what happened and some footage there for you as well. So there is that. And then thank you to everybody who has joined my Patreon. This is a shameless self-promotion thing right here as well. So please feel free to join my Patreon. I will have a podcast going up for my patrons at the $5 and above tier. That will go up this week. And I did share my patrons' Instagram photos that I loved right now for the first time this month. They will get a second share this month as well for everybody in the $2 and up tier as well. And for my $10 and up tier, we are gonna go live shopping this week, maybe next week. So I'll be filming a shop with me, or a what is it? Yes, a shop with me. I was gonna say plan with me, but that's not right. But I will be filming a shop with me that will go up soon for everybody just here on YouTube, but my patrons at the $10 and above per month tier also get a live shop with me. So that will be happening, and if you want in on any of that stuff or want to join over on my Patreon, I would love to have you there. We just hit 20 patrons over there, which is so exciting, and I would love to continue to grow that community. So I would love to see you over there, and that will help with some of the things that I am going to talk about today. So we're gonna practice releasing. We are going to just, you know, breathe through it, breathe it out. I apologize in advance if there's tears. I don't think there will be, but you know, emotions sneak up on you too. Okay, so before we get into planning, as much as I love my Go Wild cover, Go Wild is over, and this notebook I actually received at Go Wild, and it's so fun and springy. And so I actually want to steal the covers off of this, and I want to go ahead and put it on here with these white discs. I think it's gonna look so fun and fresh and springy. So we're gonna go ahead and do that first before we get started. And I do still have my Go Wild nails. Just take me back. Take me back to Go Wild. I wanna go back. I'm not done. It went by so fast. So for those of you who are planning to go, or you know, who have thought about going, it goes by so dang fast. It is wild how fast it goes by. Ooh, I like that with the white discs. I might put black discs on there though. Who knows? We'll see. We'll try it with the white ones for a while, because I'm not really over these white ones yet. I kind of love them. So yeah, this cover was part of the swag, I suppose you could call it, from Go Wild. And yeah, I did bring my planner, but did I write in it? No. Am I gonna go back and plan again in it? Probably. So you'll see some plans in here that are planned but not planned. So here's my Go Wild spread. Like I said, it's in here, and there is some writing writing on this spread. I do need to go back and put everything in here, but we are on to the week of St. Patrick's Day. So I'm gonna, of course, like how could I not? The Happy Planner just came out with this Sage sticker book, which I will link down below, which I think is perfect for spring. You can also use your points on this. So if you have signed up for Happy Planner rewards on the Happy Planner website, you can use my affiliate link, number one, and then number two, you can use your points to potentially get this at either no cost or just the cost of shipping. So that's a pretty sweet deal. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna find a little washi strip that goes up here or something that can fit. One of these might be really cute. So we'll put our finger there and we will check that out. But if let's start at the top while we're talking and looking. I have a cold. I do not have COVID. I do have a cold. Here is why the real world is, in the words of my friend Meg's Got a Plan, trash. The real world is absolute trash. I was completely well all through Go Wild. The mask mandates in many places had lifted, and so it felt really good to, you know, have a bare face sometimes. And so we did go without masks a little bit of the time, you know, at some points. And that felt really good. And I did not get COVID. I did not get sick. But the minute I got home, my little guy, my Harrison guy, had a runny nose, and he apparently had hugged one of our neighbors who also had a runny nose, and he ended up with just a cold. You know, it happens as kids play. It's no fault of anyone's, you know, it just is what it is. I kind of have forgotten about those things since my kids have been doing virtual school and that kind of thing, but it just is what it is. It's, you know, it's kid stuff. My son got sick, and then my daughter got sick, and now I am sick. And again, it is not COVID. It is just a cold. It's just one of those things. So yeah, it is. It's plugging along. But anyway, I went through the whole Go Wild conference. I was around so many people, sometimes masked, sometimes not masked, and didn't get sick. And then the real world had to come back and just lay the smack down. It just was like, nope, absolutely not. That is why the real world is trash. And I just want to go back to Go Wild. I just want to go back. It really did go by so fast, and it was a blast. It really was such a good time. Y'all, it is one of those things that like people tell you about, and they say, you know, it's life-changing, and, you know, you'll never have another experience like this. And, you know, people can say that, and then you're like, no way. Like, it's just a planner conference. It's just a conference. But really, it is honestly so much more than that. It really is like a very special place, and I can see why people say all of the beautiful things that they say about it. So most of my interactions there were very positive. I did have one really negative interaction, but we won't talk about that here. We will only use this space for positivity. But let's see. Okay, so before we move on to our next heavier topic, trigger warning. If you are a student or a family, this is the part that you should skip. I will try to leave a timestamp down below to the part where we are no longer talking about this if you do still want to watch this video, but you could also just skip from here and then go all the way to the end as well. So there is that, but we do need to get this section set up. So let me find some full boxes. Okay, there's some long boxes, there's some double boxes, there's a couple today's plan and noted double boxes. Okay, so here are some full boxes. Are there any like decorative full boxes? Let's see about that. I like these long like checklist boxes too. Those are really cool. I am a fan, a big fan. I love books like these that are totally themed and they have literally everything you could need for multiple spreads. Okay, first, I suppose I should look at my calendar for the next week and figure out what we have that I need to plan in advance for. Probably not a lot because it feels like we have not planned for a ton of things in advance. The only things I see are art for Delilah and podcast recording. Oh, I know. That week is spring break. That is what I need to write on there. That week is going to be our spring break, which is kind of nice. It'll be a nice little break. So I will mark that on there. Maybe I can just use one of those double boxes because they're kind of pretty. Okay, there's a noted one. There were a couple others that were also really pretty. Very pretty. Oh yeah, notes. What colors do we want though? I think I'm gonna do this like lighter green. I feel like for a St. Patty's Day spread, you can really use like all of the different shades. I think that is totally acceptable. Okay, so we will do this. Put this one here. And then I also need this Cheerful Seasons because it's handy. I have the other ones around, but I wonder if, is there a St. Patty's Day sticker that I can like mark the holiday? I'm sure there is, because the Happy Planner would not leave us without the ability to mark a holiday. At least I hope not. I sure hope not. Okay, there's all of those little things. Happy-go-lucky, be nice or leaf. That's cute. Happy-go-lucky. Oh, did they not have? Let's see. Oh, create your own luck. That's really cute. That's actually really cute with the rainbows too. Maybe I'll throw, well, I have some of the green rainbows in there. I kind of like those little, maybe I'll put some of these two little rainbows in too. I think that's actually kind of cute. Shine bright. Okay, so I'm going to use happy-go-lucky to mark St. Patrick's Day. This spread is a little all over the place. And that's just because, number one, I haven't filmed in like 100 years. And then number two, my brain is just kind of like all over the place. It's a little wild around here these days. Okay, so I did want to put one of those cute little rainbows, like a colorful rainbow. I like the green ones, but I also now am really liking the idea of this little colorful one too. And just kind of doing a whole bunch of different things. And then maybe next to that rainbow, we can put a little shamrock also. Okay, and these clovers on here, like they're cute, but none of them are 4-leaf clovers. What are we doing, Happy Planner? What are we doing? Why are we doing it like that? None of them have 4 leaves on them. I don't understand. I'm confused. This day that I'm filming this, well actually tomorrow, is the worst day of the entire year. And it is, in fact, daylight savings time. And you guys have probably heard me talk about daylight savings time. This is not the topic I was going to talk about next, but it's the literal worst. I am not a big fan of daylight savings time. It's not my favorite thing at all. Yeah, we are just going to keep plugging along. But after the week that I've had and after the week previous to that I've had, like, I don't know, man, what else could happen? And I'll start sharing about that, but I do just want to make sure that I have everything. Oh, I'm so nasal. I'm so sorry. My cold probably sounds so gross for you guys. I apologize, but I mean, it is what it is. And I really wanted to get this filmed. It's the season of gratitude. That's a trust the journey. Trust the timing of your life. I feel like I need to put that in there. Is there like a darker patterned one that I could put behind it? You know, you guys know how I love to layer. Ooh, this one with the gold foil. Let's do this. Oh no, I almost ripped it. Come on, stickers. This one does not feel like it's cut all the way. That's weird. Yeah, because it almost ripped on the top too. Come on, sticker. All right, so we'll put this guy down. Oh, the back ripped a little bit, but that's okay. It'll still be fine. Okay, so the news, the everything. So this, again, trigger warning if you are a student or a family or a current student that is in my class or anything like that, or you currently work with me, or you currently go to the school where I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to say anything bad. Like, it's not going to be anything. I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it, but I'm not going to say anything bad about my employer or anything like that. So we don't need to worry about that. But here's the thing. So my school is going through, I suppose you could call it growing pains, but kind of the opposite. It's hard to explain if you're not a teacher, but I will do my best. Basically, the way that schools work is that teachers are hired and can be hired based on enrollment, right? So based on how many students are there is how much money that school has to hire teachers. That's really like the bottom line of how things work at schools. If there are not as many students one year as there are maybe the previous year or previous years previous to that even, that means that they either can't hire any teachers at that time, or if they've hired too many, they have to do what's called a reduction in staff. And I'm sure that other employers do this too, but this is just the way that it works for schools and that kind of thing. And I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable. I'm not laughing because I find really any of this funny, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. So our school is going through that exact process. So a couple of years ago during COVID, we had a ton of students enroll with us. So a lot of families were kind of jumping ship from the comprehensive distance learning model. And they were like, well, we want to go to a school that is well-versed in virtual education. And I mean, that's not, I never actually heard that from anyone. That is an assumption on my part. So I don't know, man, that is an assumption on my part. So let me be clear about that as well. But really, what my school is going to have to do, and is in process of doing right now, is they are going to be reducing their staff by 40 staff members. I don't know if all of those are teachers. I don't know how many of those are teachers and how many of them are admin. Many of this, or much of this information came out when I was at Go Wild. There was an open office. So what happened was there was a message that was sent out after hours, and we will talk about that another time. But there was a message that was sent out after hours to staff letting them know that they could voluntarily resign, or they could kind of wait and see. And at that time, the plan, or the offer that was being made around the voluntary resignation didn't really sound like something that I was interested in doing. There was an informational meeting kind of about like the process and like what was going to happen, and the nitty-gritty details around it. And then basically there was that open office, and then I was at Go Wild for that week, and I was off the following Monday, and then I came back and a meeting was put on my calendar, and I just kind of knew. I just knew what was going to happen. I knew that what the conversation was going to be. And so basically during that meeting, what I thought was going to happen was confirmed, and it is the case that I am part of that staff reduction. So what that means is that for the 2022-2023 school year and beyond, I am no longer going to be employed. I almost said the name of my employer, but I don't want to do that. So I'll no longer be employed there. I will say that this process has been quite difficult for me to navigate. It's been very emotional because there are a lot of things that I worked really hard on at this school, a lot of things that I built, a lot of programs that I was a big part of, and honestly was a critical part in building from the ground up. And if you've ever been on a project like that, or had the opportunity to build something in your place of employment and then having to think about handing that over, it's really challenging. It's very challenging. That's not to say that I can't take those skills with me or anything like that. I will have to walk away from that work. I will have to walk away from students in a program who, the program was designed for me to build a close relationship with them, almost like a bond. Part of the program is that you build this trusting relationship and this basically like a family structure in your classroom. Not to say that other teachers don't do that, but that is something that we're asked to do, and that I think that I can say that I do very well with my students. Oh, geez. This is the part where it's going to make me cry talking about my kids. So we'll just move on from that. And there is a class of kids that anticipated having me as their teacher next year. So they grow with me from grade 7 to grade 8, and then they move to high school. And we did have another avid teacher who I suspect will be staying and taking over that class. But yeah, that is the news. Like I said at the beginning of this video, people have been asking like what they can do, like if there's anything they can do for me or to support me. And the big thing is, watch my videos, follow me on Instagram, help me to grow my voice, because one of the things that I'm looking at, there are kind of 3 paths in front of me now that I have this choice next year, which is exciting, but also for me as a person with anxiety, it's really nerve-wracking. And you heard me probably talk about in my other plan with me that I put up just a few days ago. It was late, due to Go Wild, but you heard me talking vaguely that this week was just full of anxiety and it was a difficult week. And that was because I got that email that I was telling you about the night before I went to Go Wild, basically. And so I was sitting with that, and I didn't know which way it was going to go. And I was hopeful that I had been there long enough because, I had been at this place of employment for 6 years. So I was like, well, maybe, but there were other people who either had different endorsements that they needed. So math and science would definitely do that, or people who had been there longer. And yeah, so it did end up being me, even though I was very hopeful that, I did have some special things like this AVID program that I worked with, but it just wasn't quite enough. It's been really difficult, and it's been also really difficult on the staff, I think, that are staying as well, because they, we're a really close-knit staff. We work really closely together, and we share a lot in our workplace, and it's gonna just be a really difficult transition. But I do have 3 paths in front of me. Kind of getting back to that is, number 1 is going back into the classroom and finding another virtual teaching job. That is the only option for me. I will never set foot back in a brick and mortar classroom. That is not for me. Unfortunately, and I hate to say this, I will leave the classroom before I go back to not working from home. Not being able to be there for my own kids and being outside of the home for that many hours a day is not something that I'm willing to do. My second option is I can possibly grow my social media over the summer because I do have time. So there is I would say for me, because I haven't been there that long, a somewhat generous severance package being offered. Take that offer because they did give us more time to take this, voluntary resignation after they told us. They were like, well, you're on the list anyway, so, you can still take the voluntary resignation and still take some money. So we decided to do that because probably wouldn't have qualified for unemployment anyway because of my YouTube channel. So that brings me back to that. That would be my second option, is to grow my social media over the summer because I will be getting paid through the summer and I will have benefits through the summer. And so I do have some time where I can work on my social media as well as fulfilling my end of year obligations to my current employer. So that's my second option. And then my third option is looking at other career paths. So looking at doing digital marketing for another company, looking at exploring maybe video editing or something like that. So there are really like 3 options that I'm exploring right now. I've already submitted 1 application for another school, and I've been talking to a colleague who works there and that kind of thing. So we'll just see. I don't like the unknown. As you know, I like to flip to the end of the book. I like to know the story. I like to watch all the spoilers when I'm watching a show. And so that's the part that I don't like right now, is not knowing where I'm going to land and what is going to be my path. So I know that I am a highly qualified teacher, and I know that I'm a very talented teacher and I'm really good at what I do. But I also know that there are some things in education that are unsettling, and I don't know if that's something that I want to go back to. I love my students and I love being a teacher, but there is so much that goes with being a teacher that I don't love, this process included. And I do think that my current employer tried to do this the right way. I really think that they think that this is the way that they should be handling things, but like looking at it from where I'm sitting, it's been very painful, and some of it feels like it's been very cold, and it sucks. And I'm sure that it sucks for everybody who is involved. I'm sure that, the people having to deliver these messages, I'm sure that it hurts them as well. I mean, at the end of the day, they are still going to be working there next year, and they have a secure plan for their family, and that is, like, I guess, the difference. So there is that is my news, and it's heavy and it sucks. And I did need to tell you that before I showed you all my beautiful Go Wild footage and all of that, because okay, so coming back from Go Wild and being like on the highest high and just having had this incredible experience, like the experience of a lifetime, and then like to get that news basically the day after. They scheduled it for 2 days after, so I came back to work on March 8th, and then they scheduled the meeting for March 9th, and then I was like, no, because I knew what the meeting was going to be about, and I was like, I can't just sit here and wait. I can't do that. I'm too anxious. I have to, we got to talk now. And so that is how that went. So yeah, I knew what was going to be said at that meeting, and I knew exactly what was coming, and I couldn't couldn't sit there and wait another day. There was absolutely no way that I could do that. So I said, no, I'd really like to meet today, and they honored that, which was really nice. We had a difficult conversation. It was what it is. There's really not a better way to say that. That is that. So I will not be, and if you've been following me on Instagram, you already know this. You already know all of the things, because I've been sharing and talking and doing all the things. Yeah, so that's where that is. But again, I know that I'm going to be okay, but the most difficult part, and I'm going to really try right now to not get emotional, because I feel like I just don't want to cry on camera, y'all. I really don't. The most difficult part of this entire process is going to be having to share this news with my sweet little angel babies, my students who I absolutely adore, who are some of the lights of my life who, whether they like it or not, they become my kids. And someone told me something the other day though. Geez, I'm like on the edge of crying here, but we're not gonna do it. We're not doing it today. I've cried enough. They told me that, you know, maybe my time is done here and I have, you know, kind of reached my limit with these kids, and maybe there are other kids or other people that need me more right now, and maybe my place will be to serve somewhere else. And I really like that thought. I like thinking that, you know, I could be of continued use to somewhere else. So I am a type 2 Enneagram, which is the helper type. And so I love to be a helper, and I love to help people and you know, just lift others and that kind of thing. So I hope that there is somewhere that I can continue to be of service, and I hope that my students have the best school year next year. And if my avid students do come back to this video and you do watch this and, you know, you continue to follow me, I think that's so awesome that we'll be able to keep in contact this way. But I hope you guys do such cool things, and I know that you will, and I know that you guys are gonna do awesome, and just know that even though we're not together, I'm still like your biggest cheerleader. So I hope that you can all feel that. Like if you are one of my kids who has stumbled back upon this video either years later or soon after I have had to leave. That's what I'm gonna call it. I have had to leave because this isn't my choice. This isn't something that I would ever choose. I hope that you do such cool things, and I know that you will, and I can't wait to hear all about it. There are some of you who I know like your college dreams, and I just can't wait to see you get there. So just know that I'm still your cheerleader. I'm still your biggest advocate and your biggest support. And I also know that whoever ends up being your teacher next year, they're going to take such good care of you. And I know that it's going to be somebody that I know, because that's just the way that we work. And we take care of each other, and I will for sure still be thinking about all of you and wishing you all of the best. So just know that I'm still there for you. And there's that. So I am going to be on a new adventure next year, and so are all of my kids, and it's very exciting, but it's also like super scary. And I would just say that if you are a student watching this, like, it's okay to feel all the feelings, because I feel all the feelings, and I would say just like let it go through you. You know, there's gonna be a process, and this whole thing is gonna be a process. So man, and nobody in my like teacher training trained me for how to do this, or trained me when I had to attend a student's funeral or something like that. So there's a lot of hardship in teaching, but there's also a lot of beauty. But I think right now for me, I have to decide, is the hardship worth the beauty? Is that worth it for me? And that's not to say that I have any regrets about being a teacher or becoming a teacher, but I will say that being a teacher right now in today's climate is tough. It's tough. And if you've stumbled across this video and you are a teacher in training, I would say like you're gonna need a lot of like strong mental space, I would say, because teaching in today's climate is tough. It's really tough. And I mean, I even come from a place that's like pretty privileged and like basically a cushy kind of job, and it's still tough. It still has moments like this, and it still has moments where there's like some sadness and some brokenness. Yeah. So that is my news, and I'm just trying to keep breathing and resting, and I'm putting this rest sticker on Monday because I am taking a sick day on Monday because I am just this sick. But this is my St. Patrick's Day spread. I'm not sure about it, but you know, it is. It just is. It's one of those things. And that's the other thing about this whole teaching job thing. It was not based on performance. It was based on, you know, seniority. And so there was nothing that like, I couldn't have hustled any harder and made it better. I couldn't have done anything different and changed the outcome. So it's not anything that I could have fixed or controlled. It just is, and that is difficult too. But you know, we're just gonna keep going. So this is the spread for now, and then I'm gonna get some pen on it, and I'll see you guys in a bit. And then tomorrow we're gonna have Go Wild vlogs. So again, if you want to support, like if you've been listening to this story and you made it all the way here, thank you. But you can watch all of my videos. You can support by joining my Patreon. You can support by shopping through my affiliate links that are always down below. You can support by following me on Instagram. All of those things help to maybe see if I can do this full time, because how cool would that be if I got to be here with you guys all the time? That would be super rad. So let me go ahead and get some pen on this spread, and then I'll see you guys back in a minute.
I know you're hurt. I can see it in your eyes, babe. You need to let your mind off things. No, it hurts. I can see it in your eyes, babe. But I know you have a lot to give. I know that it's getting cold, the waves are crashing in. When the streams are getting strong, just hold on to me, yeah. I'm your lighthouse, I'm the sun against your dark clouds. I will always be your guiding light. I'm your lighthouse.
All right, everybody. So this is the spread with all of my pen on it. It still has some blank spots on it, but it is. So this is my green St. Patrick's Day spread. So thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much for hanging out with me as I opened my heart and shared my story. And if you have any questions, like, don't hesitate to ask. And if you have any ideas or thoughts about what could be next for me, I'm always open to that. You guys had some really great ideas. And then if you wanted to support in any of the ways that I've talked about before, that is also great. So thanks again for being here. And if you are new here, I am sorry that this is the first video you stumbled upon, but hello, my name is Caitlin, and I would love it if you would hit that red subscribe button down below, give this video a like, leave a comment down below about if you did a green spread this week or if you did something totally different. Let me know. And I know that if you're abroad, you likely don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day. So, but anyway, it's like it's just a family tradition that we have always done. It's a little silly, but it just is. So let me know if you did a green spread this week or if you did something else. And then your plans for this week, let me know those as well. So thanks in advance for watching. And if you would like to, you can also find me over on Patreon. I'm creating in chaos over on Patreon, and there's some fun perks that are coming up this week. So make sure you head over there and check that out. And then you can also go ahead and follow me over on Instagram at creating in chaos_official. I do share some stuff over there that I don't share here, like pictures of my beautiful family, and then some products that I find, and all those fun things. So make sure that you check me out over there as well. And then you can also check me out over on the Spice Chaos podcast. So we should have a new episode going live tomorrow. So that'll be really exciting. We'll be recapping Go Wild as well. So you'll have my Go Wild recap vlog part 1, and then you'll have the Spice Chaos version, and it'll be a lot of fun. So make sure you check that out as well. And we also have a Patreon over there. So if you want to check that out, you can check out all of our Patreon stuff as well. And then if you would like to support me in any other way, you can go ahead and shop through my affiliate links that are down below. And as always, I always love your DMs, emails, messages, all of the things. So thank you so much. I can feel your love from here. All of your messages have been so sweet and so kind. And trust me, I have received them, and I have been reading them and hopefully responding to all of them. So thanks so much, and keep them coming. I can feel your virtual hugs, and here is a virtual hug right back to you. And by the way, you guys, have fun today.